nature finds something that doesn't work or doesn't work anymore because the elements are changing, because the environment is changing, it slowly gets rid of it. And so, what I'm saying is that there is an element of feedback, and that feedback is due to the relationship that we have between the atomic structure and the space around it. And I need to give more details about that so that it's understood.
And also, there's so many things I want to talk with you about that are all related, one of which is everything in the universe, Nassim, seems to be so orderly. It all seems to be so proper. Yes, we just found out there's a planet that spins the wrong way. That's not very usual. That is very unusual. But by and large, there seems to be order and everything's the same in the universe. I'm convinced that on other planets and other systems, they probably have similar elements like we have too, don't you?
Yeah, most likely, at least in our, in our section of the universe.
Yes.
And, I think as well that this orderly fashion that we see everywhere, that's very good observation, is due to a connectivity between all things, that things are not necessarily as separate as they appear to be.
I want to get your thoughts on the multiverse. Some scientists are now beginning to say that we have more than one universe. We have many. What do you think?
I would agree with that. I would say that we are probably embedded into a larger universe, which is embedded into a larger one, and so on. And I believe, based on the fractal nature of my theory, that those embeddedness go to infinity, from infinitely big or to infinitely small, which was basically the concept that struck me when I was 10 years old in that bus, is that you can divide to infinity, or you can go infinitely large if you want to, but that each boundary is embedded into a larger one, so that you can't actually separate anything from anything else.
Would you think that these universes are all the same, or might they have different life forms that are totally different than what we can even comprehend?
I would say that they most likely have similar properties. However, they might be different to us. I'll explain that. Let's say you were an atom, and first of all, let me make clear that when I'm thinking of multiverses, I'm not thinking of universes that are separate from us, but that our universe is embedded into a larger one and a larger one and a larger one.
Like bubbles stuck together?
Exactly, like bubbles within each other.
Okay.
And so now imagine that I shrunk you, or let's say that you were an atom, or even a cell, a biological cell, and you observe the universe from that perspective, from that level of scale. Your universe, your space would look quite different. It wouldn't look anything like what you're experiencing today. But then if I grew you to the size of a human being, and then you looked around, you would think you probably changed dimensions. Well, you actually literally changed dimensions in size, but you would think you probably went to another universe or something. But actually all you've done is observe things from a different perspective. So another universe, a much larger universe than the one we're in, might look quite different, but maybe it would be just different because it would be at a different scale. We would look at a different perspective on the same thing.
Good point. And I have to applaud you for your thought. I mean, you get it. There aren't a lot of people who have put this together the way you have. And I know we've only scratched it just this first hour. more to
Thank
come.
you.
But you get it, and
Thank you.
it's refreshing.
Oh, thank you. Well, I think more and more people get it. I was amazed at, the quality and the depth of thought that's emerging in the scientific world, in the physics conferences I attend, and so on. It's really remarkable. I think we're really undergoing a transformation at this time. It's very exciting.
Yeah, it sure is. And we're going to talk about the Resonance Project when we come back. Do you travel much now still? You're in France. I know you go to the United States a lot. Where are you based primarily now?
I'm based in Hawaii, on Kauai.
Oh, are you? Sure. I've got a lot of friends on the Big Island.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, it's a beautiful place to be. And I'm traveling right now, you're correct. I'm talking from La Côte d'Azur near Nice in France, and I've been touring for almost 3 months now, and a lot of interest out there, and there's a lot of great thinking that's going on. It's really remarkable.
Get down to Monaco and say hi to Prince Albert for me, an old friend.
I don't know if they'll have me.
Of course they will. With your mind, of course they will. You're like the new Albert Einstein or the new Carl Sagan. Did you know that?
Thank you. Yes, it's a great honor to be associated with these people. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, when we come back, we'll talk about this project, the Resonance Project, and what it means, and also how consciousness, again, ties into your theories. It is truly remarkable. Crossing the Event Horizon, Rise to the Equation. That's his DVD set. Fascinating. Fascinating. I'll be back. We talk about the universe and things in space and all these incredible things. Great thought process. We'll be back with more on Coast to Coast AM. Nassim, if consciousness is a vital part to all of this, that almost tells me that this universe is almost like a living, breathing thing all to itself. What do you think?
Well, yeah, certainly if you look at our planet, there's a lot of living, breathing things on it, and we don't really have a theory on how that really fundamentally occurred. And but I'd like to put a little nuances on the statement, because when you say a conscious universe, if you don't define consciousness, it doesn't really tell me anything about the universe neither. And, and because it's like, what is consciousness? How does it occur? What is the functioning of it? And why does it occur? And so this is where my work led me eventually, is to, as I was working the forces of nature, working out how nature produces gravitational fields and electromagnetic fields and so on. And as I wrote papers describing these things, and I figured out some of the topology necessary, that is, the geometry necessary for this to occur, I realized that there's a fundamental feedback of information between the gravitational field, which is information moving in, and the electromagnetic field, which is information moving out. And when you have a feedback like this, now you have a basis for self-awareness. Consciousness is being self-aware. In order to be self-aware, you need feedback. And that just happens to be the fundamental way fractal equations are written. A fractal equation is an equation in which you take the result of it, you feed it back, and you get another iteration, which is take the answer and feed it back, and so on, and you get this infinite amount of complexity out of a very, very, very simple set of rules. And so it's a nice way to start to describe nature, because that's what you see in nature. And you see fractals everywhere in nature. When you look around, for instance, the way the branches of a tree divide, the way the roots of a tree go into the ground, the way your nervous system divides, the way your your veins and arteries, and you can see it everywhere. And so, to me, then